Hello and welcome to the Import-Export Hub channel. I'm your host Bogdan, and in today's video I will analyze the imports and exports of Italy for 2019, and without further introduction I will dive into the subject, and for this I've prepared an Excel file with the imports and exports of Italy, focusing on the top 10 chapters. And I will begin with the export flow of Italy for 2019 and the values are expressed in US dollars. And we see here that chapter 84 had the biggest, by far the biggest, was the biggest driver of Italy's exports for 2019, with more than $100 billion worth of exports and a share in world exports of 5%. The second chapter which performed well was chapter 87, which is basically the auto sector, with more than $41 billion worth of exports and share in world exports of 3%. Then we have on the third place the pharmaceutical products chapter, with more than $33 billion worth of exports, followed by chapters 85, 39, 73, 71, 27, 94, and 62. For me, it came as a surprise to see that chapters 94 and 62 are in this top 10 list. I didn't know that Italy was a big manufacturer of furniture and bedding, mattresses, and so on. We see here that it had a 5% share in world exports, with almost $14 billion worth of exports for 2019. Also, chapter 62, articles of apparel and clothing accessories, had almost $14 billion worth of exports and share in world exports of 6%. But because we are talking about value and not quantity, now I begin to understand that Italy, this chapter is supposed to be in this top 10 list, because Italy is renowned and has lots of high-end luxury clothing manufacturers, and it seems that it performed very well in 2019. In terms of annual growth in value between 2015 and 2019, in this top 10 list, the biggest growth was for the pharmaceutical sector, with an average of 14% growth. And considering all the chapters, the biggest growth was for the tobacco and manufacturing tobacco substitutes with on an average of 65% increase between 2015 and 2019. As for the share in world exports, the raw hides and skins chapter had the biggest share with 20%, which is understandable because the hides generating from manufactured or processed in Italy are of high quality and are demanded by the high-end luxury sector all over the world. Now moving on to Italy's imports for 2019, we see here that the biggest driver of for Italy's imports was the chapter 27, which is basically gasoline and diesel products, with more than $58 billion worth of exports. And it's understandable because Italy is not a rich resource country, especially in the petroleum sector. On the second place we have chapter 87, followed by chapters 84, 85, 30, 39, 72, 29, 90, and 71. In terms of annual growth in value between 2015 and 2019, and considering all the chapters, the biggest growth was for the ships, boats, and floating structures chapter, with an average of 20% growth, while the silk chapter had the biggest share in world imports of an average of 19% increase, which is again understandable because Italy is well renowned for using silk in the high-end luxury clothing, accessories and clothing apparel sector. And just for your information, we see here that there's a lot of intra trading, because we see here that chapters like 87, 84, 85 and even 30 are present in this top 10 list, both for the import and export flows. And for me, it tells that Italy is very, very specialized on certain products in the considering these chapters. But I might be wrong. If you have any other ideas or opinions, you are free to post them in the comment section. And now I want to move on and analyze the top 3 best performing chapters, both for the import and export flow. And I will begin with chapter 84 for the export flow. And here we see that the United States is the biggest commercial partner for Italy for 2019, with an average of almost 11% in Italy's exports and the value of almost $11 billion worth of exports. Then you have Germany, France, Spain, China, United Kingdom, Poland, Russian Federation, the Netherlands, and on the 10th place we have Switzerland. And except Germany, China, and the Netherlands, with the rest of the trading partners for this chapter, there's a strong positive trade balance. As for the growth in exported value between 2015 and 2019, the biggest growth was with the Netherlands with an average of 8%. Now moving on to chapter 87, we see here that Germany is the biggest importer of Italy's automobiles, with share in Italy's exports of 18%, followed by France, the United States, United Kingdom, Spain, Poland, Austria, Belgium, Switzerland, and on the 10th place we have Japan. And here we see that with Germany, Spain, Poland, Belgium, and Japan, there is a negative trade balance, while with the other trading partners there's a positive trade balance. In terms of growth in exported value between 2015 and 2019, we see here that with France, Poland, Austria, and Japan, there's an average of 7% increase, while with the United States there's a negative 1%. Now analyzing the last chapter in Italy's exports, which is chapter 30, the pharmaceutical products sector, we see here that again the United States is the biggest importer of Italy's medicine, let's say, with an average with a share in Italy's exports of almost 17%. After the United States, we have Belgium, Germany, Switzerland, France, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, Spain, China, and on the 10th place we have Austria. And here we see that except Germany, France, and the Netherlands, which is a negative trade balance, with the rest of the trading partners in this top 10 list, there's a positive trade balance. In terms of annual growth in exported value between 2015 and 2019, we see here that the biggest growth was with the United States of almost 48% on average increase, while with Belgium there's a negative 3%. Now moving on to the top three best performing chapters in terms of Italy's imports, we see here that for chapter 27, the Russian Federation is by far the most important trading partner, with a share in Italy's imports of almost 22%, followed by Azerbaijan, Iraq, Libya, Algeria, Saudi Arabia, Kazakhstan, Nigeria, Germany, and on the 10th place we have the United States. Again, this is understandable to see this negative trade balance for this chapter. And in terms of annual growth of imported value, we see here that between 2015 and 2019, Italy imported from Nigeria on average of 29% increase between this period, while with Germany there's a negative 1%. Moving on to chapter 87, which is the automobile sector, we see here that the biggest supplier, let's say, for Italy of cars is Germany, with a share in Italy's imports of 33%, followed by France, Spain, Turkey, Belgium, United Kingdom, Poland, Romania, the Czech Republic, and on the 10th place we have Japan. And except France and the United Kingdom, with the rest of the trading partners, there's a negative trade balance. As for the annual growth in terms of value, with Belgium and with Romania, there's an average of 17% increase, while with Poland there's a negative 3%. And now moving on to the last chapter I want to analyze, which is chapter 84. We see here again that Germany is the biggest supplier of machinery, mechanical appliances, and parts thereof. For Italy, with share in Italy's imports almost double than China's, with almost 25% in share. On the second place we have China, followed by the Netherlands, France, United States, Poland, United Kingdom, Belgium, the Czech Republic, and on the 10th place we have Japan. In terms of trade balance, except Germany, China, the Netherlands, and Japan, there's with the rest of the trading partners there's a positive trade balance. As for the growth in imported value between 2015 and 2019, there's an average of 9% growth each year with the Czech Republic and Japan. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show you. I really hope you've enjoyed this video. Again, if you have any ideas, suggestions, write them in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and until next time, business as usual.